Howdy folks, welcome back to Deck Check. I'm here joined by the I'm not gonna say it actually. Never mind. By my blueberry I can't say that either. Buddy.
I got a lot of names tonight.
We got some more decks to go over with you guys. Quick shout out to our members. Thank you guys for supporting us. We appreciate you very, very much. And to anyone who sees this video when it goes public, if you enjoy this content, consider sticking around. Maybe hitting the subscribe button. Maybe hitting the like button if you like the video. Would be pretty cool. Deck Check's basically our weekly series where we typically go over some of the recent decks that have topped across the world. Thanks to Digimon Card Meta, where you can find lots of deck lists there. So shout out to them as well for having this site put together. And I think that's about all I got. Oh, also thank you for 5K. Thank you for that.
Yes. Thank you.
Our other videos are all pre-recorded, so that was before we had hit 5K. But this is our first one we're recording after that. So thank you so much. Thank you for supporting us. It's very, very good. We do have some stuff coming up that we will announce soon. If it hasn't been announced in Discord already, I don't think it has been. It might be announced by the time this video comes out. We'll find, well, to the public. I don't know about members. We'll find out. You'll see. Keep an eye on Discord. Anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the first list here, which is Digimon. This was run by Hisharyu 0523 over in the Philippines. Got first place at an Ultimate Cup, which is sick. Is really, really cool to see Machine doing that again.
9-0 as well.
Machine's good, man. Machine is good. It is a good deck. It's just people either hate it because they don't want to play against it, or
that's me.
It can be. I mean, it can be a little bit rough on the brain sometimes. There's a lot going on. There's a lot happening. We see pretty standard purple based package. I really hope we get some decent like black based cards for it. Although maybe that would make Machine too good for consistency reasons, because their biggest issue right now is that you have to have Analog Man on board to use like your options typically. Because you really just want the purple engine for draw, but we'll see what they decide to do. But yeah, so standard package we see there with the Ukos, the Siakos, Fascos, Ukos, and then the BT16 Uko. Level 5s, we see the old faithful Machine lineup of one-ofs. Let's see, how many we got here? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15. So a little, about the right number. Usually people run about 16 level 5s. Which this is about on par for that. We see a lot of the new pieces from EX9 that are really strong for the deck. Lots of Sec +1 inheritables. This Metal Tyrannomon here is really strong as well. The one from EX8. Cool to see Volcanomon in there. The Cyberdramon Ace is actually really interesting to me. But I guess it makes sense because you can drop this for a pretty cheap cost. Because it is a cyborg card, so you can drop it off of things like Supreme Connection and such for very low memory. And then get the effects to play out Tamers potentially and everything like that. Top end's pretty standard from what we've seen, right? For the new Machine, 2 Castra, 2 Chaos X. I feel like that's pretty much what people lean into nowadays. Because you still, like, at first I was on the whole like anti-Castra bandwagon, just use Castra X. But the more I play the game, the more I'm like, you know what? Having the D-Digivolve off of him on top of having Machine Dramon's effect to do D-Digivolve sometimes can just be really helpful to stack everything.
Right.
Or if you go with like Castra into Castra X and get the Digivolve again and reload the stack a bunch, like if the more memory you're given, the more you can kind of pop off. 2 analog youths, which is really interesting to me. Typically, I think this makes more sense now with the new level 5s. I think weirdly analog youth, the old EX11 gained a lot more value because you're now playing at level 5s that give themselves a source immediately, so you can actually utilize his Alterns effect a bit more. The Tie and Mat I think is funny because you do have a lot of Greymon cards. So I can understand that, unless that's supposed to be an EX9 Analog Man, which would make more sense to me at 3. But if it is this time, Matt, it's funny. But a strong part of me thinks that this is probably the Analog Man, because I don't see why you would run the time at this amount. I feel like that's a bit much.
Sure.
For the old BT11 Analog Man, good card. You know, if you really want it. And then 4, this is actually kind of unorthodox here. The 4 Attack with Heavy Mobile and 4 Supreme Connections. Typically, people run like 2 Supreme Connections, maybe 3. And Attack with Heavy Mobile is typically a 2 or 3 of. Full 4 is an interesting choice, but I mean consistency, right? You just want to see it every time. Yeah. Attack with Heavy Mobile can be really good out of security for deleting bodies and setting up your trash, and Supreme Connection basically does its main effect out of security pretty much, so it's really strong. just sets you up to clap back with a machine the next turn. So cool list. I haven't played machine in a hot minute. I've been on that Omni train. I haven't been to locals in a while because life. So I'm hoping to pick back up machine and stuff when I start going back to locals regularly. But yeah, this is cool. Congrats to you, Hisya, to you.
Yeah.
Okay, on the next.
Next list is Gankoo Turbo, I would like to call it. This was piloted by Makuvino 610 over in the Philippines. Played in an Ultimate Cup, I believe got top 8 out of a total of 53 tamers, so congratulations there. This is an interesting list that a lot of folks were kind of floating about. I think it first made its big appearance in the EU regional in Porto, where I believe it also secured a top 8 finish. But it's an interesting idea. So you start off with your rookies, which are basically just the sort of red good stuff with like Gotsu for your memory or your play by effect floodgate. You've got Shamanmon as your
Memory floodgate.
Memory floodgate. Then you've got more consistency pieces with your Blanc and your Ukos, just to help you cycle and draw, because this is a very piece reliant deck. The only sort of in archetype, if you even want to call it an archetype, rookie is the Huckmon from BT20.
Right.
Start a main, you trash a card, gain and draw one. Again, fits with the theme of like cycle and draw power. Then you got your Bauhuck and your War Growl Ace. And really the idea of this deck here is to find your Bauhuck. Have a Bauhuck in the back, promote it up. Then you use its once per turn effect, which is you can go ahead and play out a sister at Gankoo. In this situation, you will always be playing Gankoo for reduced cost of 2. And then you play out a BT20 Gankoo, which lets you reduce the play cost additionally by 4. So essentially, you're hard slamming a Gankoo for 6. When you hard slam Gankoo, you want to see a GankooX either in your hand or in your trash, because that you can evo into it. You get obviously you get your like Digivolve 2, which is always very, very strong in this meta. But more importantly, you gain the immunity. Essentially, your whole board is just flat immune, which is really, really strong. And what I mean by whole board, it's Sistermon's oh no, it's everything, sorry. But then your Sistermon's, Huckmon, and Royal Knights gain reboot blocker. So you've got this big wall of immune blockers. And you also threaten Ace with like Justmon GX Ace. Folks are running the Oryukin Ace too, mainly as, in my opinion,
it's like a DNA finish
really
game.
Just like a DNA exactly. So if you can keep a board, you've got the two things on, you can just go ahead DNA Evo and, like TJ was saying, finish for game. And you run like a slew of really neat top ends too, with the Gallant, Promo Gallant, Medieval Gallant, Gallant X. Mainly just for additional like gas, right? The Medieval obviously as a 3-of is really there to like floodgate your opponent, and if you wideboard, you can always just go ahead, slam down a Medieval for reduced cost, stop them from playing the game essentially to a degree. And then the War Growl Ace is there because if you are sitting on Bauhuck, he is a really good level 5 ace that is still immune during the time you burst Evo into it, can get rid of some nasty bodies, cheat over some memory. So it's a really interesting concept. And then at the end, you run like sort of your consistency pieces with like Garnet, Scramble. Folks are running Cool Boy, which I think is a good choice. I've been kind of trying to figure out what that like last part of the puzzle was. Master Disciple honestly here loses, in my opinion, a decent amount of value, mainly because you don't really like,
you're not running a full
do much with it. You're not evoing into like a savior, for example. So I don't think there's a lot of room for Master. So Cool Boy makes sense because it just helps you again like look for your just like
helps you find
antibody,
pieces,
just
so you gain memory
find
off
your
of
pieces and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think overall, like very, very interesting concept. A lot of people are talking about it moving into like Nat season, for example, because immune stuff is always just hard to deal with. So don't sleep on this. I've run into some just typical consistency stuff, right? Like if you're missing a couple pieces, it's kind of tough to play the deck. If you're missing like the Gankoo or the GankooX, you're really just like kind of digging and like bluffing your way through the match.
Right.
But once you get it going, it's really annoying to play.
It's hard to shut down. It's just exactly. A roller with the game.
So interesting, very, very interesting. Definitely don't sleep on this and expect to see it floating around. And yeah, no, congratulations, and we'll definitely be seeing more of this list, I feel.
Yeah. All right. Next one. We have Red Hybrid,
Old
baby.
Faithful.
Old Faithful.
Old
This
Faithful.
is Ancient Grey, Red Hybrid, not Emperor. So this was run by Kraft over at a shop event. Got first place in JP at a card shop. We see a lot of typical pieces. This is definitely going for the more Ancient Grey OTK sort of style of play. Promo Goonie got hit, so they're not as consistent in their old line of play. But Ancient Greymon is still a good card. The old BT4 Ancient Grey is just a card that I don't think it can. It's hard to power creep this card, genuinely. Like, it's a card that it really just, it's more dependent on the meta than anything else. Like, it doesn't care about like other cards that much typically. As long as it's not like a heavy, like big immune blocker meta, like BT16 with Magna X and vaccine armors, stuff like that. That was hard. But aside from that, it's been able to cook multiple times in different formats. So we see a lot of the standard consistency pieces with our Searcher Flamemons. You have the Piercing Flamemon there to be able to tuck it to get piercing. A whole slew of level 4s for different effects that are all very, very powerful. The Gigasmon for that sort of pseudo rush blitz for game in a way. The one of Aldemon, just to kind of, be able to tuck that to ignore security effects, is really, really strong. We see our Ancient Grey package up top just for different options to run. A Blitz Omni in there just to sort of help finish for game sometimes if we need it. And a lot of other just like pretty standard Red Hybrid list. Like there's nothing too crazy going on with this. A lot of the stuff we have seen for Ancient Grey. If anything, maybe these Flamemons coming back, these old BT6 Flamemons, is maybe a bit out of the box. But everything else is pretty typical for what we've seen. Yes, it is. Yeah, you just kind of build a big stack and just go burr with either the old Ancient Grey, or you just control board pretty well with the newer one and get some cool stuff.
Big stack, go bunk.
I will say, actually, if anything, this is kind of a smaller count of Takuyas than I would expect. Actually very small. Only one of the memory center Takuya. 4 of the Takoji. And then 2 of the BT21 Takuya. No BT7. It's only 7 tamers for you to really target to Evo over, so I mean, you have a decent amount of draw, it looks like, but I would imagine if you don't see a tamer early, it could be a bit tough, because I feel like you could trash your tamers really easily off analog.
Curious too, because to that point too, right? Like, if you're going for that big stack in the back approach, like I would assume you run more Aldemons to have a level 5 ready to go, but they're only running 1. So like you're really just banking on the gas, and like you said, Takuya at a total of 7 is a little spooky.
Yeah.
But hey, they made it work.
They did. I mean, the good thing is that the Saguni basically gets around the level 5 stuff, right? You don't really care, so.
True.
With the BT17 Aguni, so you don't have to worry too much about having a full stack or anything.
That's true. Yeah.
Just need to have a Burning Gray in your sources. So, yeah. Otherwise, pretty cool list. Pretty neat to see. Congrats to you, Kraft, for topping with this. It's cool. I'm curious to see when we're gonna get the next wave of Frontier support. Like BT17 wasn't like that long ago, so it might. Or we got in BT17 and 18.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be a while before we get more hybrid support stuff, I would imagine. If anything, we're due for a Savers set. We're due for some Data Squad like Savers goodness. We haven't had. I mean, Shine Gray's gotten attention, but Rave, Mirage, Rose, they've all kind of fallen to the wayside in recent times. Bring back the
dog.
Give me a Bancho Leo and Bancho Leo burst mode, dude. Yeah, that's what I want. Although the next Saver set, they're totally gonna have Agumon burst mode as a secret. It's gonna be a whole like Shoutmon King, or
that's gonna be so sick.
The level 4 Shoutmon King version thing from BT10. It's gonna be that all over again though. Watch it be really bad. Agumon burst mode, such a goofy guy. Anyways, but yeah,
reminded me of Moltres.
Yeah. I hate the way he flaps his arms like that. Like he turns his hands into wings, and it just feels weird. It doesn't even look like wings like on the aura around him necessarily.
It just kind of looks like
a seal flopping through the sky. It's like he's just like slapping some meat. I don't know. It's crazy. Anyways, I think that's it for Red Hybrid. Congrats to you again, Kraft. And we'll go ahead and jump to the next list.
Next list is a Zephaga Adventure list. This was piloted by Oliveira over in Brazil. Congratulations. I feel like we've seen this name on Deck Check before. This might be a recurrent. I don't know. We'll see.
I can't remember much, man.
I don't remember.
My bald head just leaks out stuff.
We got first place at a team battle over by Card Travel, went 6-1. So congratulations there. This is an interesting concept. I think I've talked to you about it a little bit too, as well as my buddy Josh. Like, Zephaga is fun. I've definitely enjoyed learning it a little bit more, and I think the starter deck Zephaga is actually kind of slept on with the immunity plus 3k DP and being able to like just like punch over things and do board control. Yeah. And the whole idea of this deck is to utilize the adventure kind of engine to kind of warp up into a Zephaga. So instead of running like the typical adventure aces, the war grays, whatnot, you replace that all with like medieval starter deck Zephaga, Zephaga ace. You still utilize your core set of adventure tamers, although you do cut back on like TK and Matt because you lose a little bit of that necessity there because you're not necessarily relying on that. You know, Vortex kind of gives you that pseudo rush inherently. You run more of your memory gaining, like Joe and Mimi, the Sora and Kari, just to help make your plays a little bit more efficient and start your turn off at higher memory. Arcourage United makes a lot of sense, just because it's an adventure deck, being able to just cheat out another level 5. And
that card is bane of my existence, man. Drives me up a wall. It's so strong.
It's just really, really good. And then one Shoto I find slightly curious, just because I feel like just synergizes so well with your top end that I feel like running a little bit more of might make more sense. But I understand too, because like without the Zephaga, the Shoto kind of really is just more so for that blocker capability and whatnot. But it's an interesting list. I definitely want to mess around with it and see, just because I think the top end for Zephaga is still really, really strong. Sort of like we saw with the like green-based adventure list that we saw top at Oceania a couple months back, right? Where they ran like the adventure engine, but just a bunch of like green top end cards like Puppet Ace, yada yada.
I feel
this is sort of taking that idea.
I feel like this is something that just occurred to me.
Go ahead.
I feel like Zephaga suffers from Leviathan syndrome, where the top end is pretty powerful for some of the select cards, but its own traditional engine, while it's decent, is just not as good as other engines could be. The only problem for Zephaga is that there's not like a green equivalent to the Cerberus engine. Right.
The Grand Gale, the EX7 Grand Gale is arguably your best level 5, which is nice to give your stack immunity. But if you're running starter deck Zephaga, that sort of becomes sort of irrelevant to a degree. And also doesn't pack that punch like you mentioned with the Cerberus engine that lets you get like restand, multiple checks, all the memory, body potential. Like the Grand Gale just gives that 1 stack immunity, and it's a very like specific condition that you have to meet, which sometimes if that board state doesn't fit with that, then it's just sort of like, hello, I did the thing, and that's about it. So I agree 100%. It's like the top end's really good, so you just sprinkle it into like a generically good green engine, which adventure is really good for. So it's an interesting list. I think Zephaga will eventually get support, so it's always going to be a good deck. It's a pro tag deck, right? Like it's just going to always be around.
Well, we know the emblems coming for Zephaga. We know that there should be a level 7 coming for them as well, which means we'll get a whole new line, which means we'll probably get a new Shoto, we'll get new Terramon and everything else. We'll probably get a level 5 that warps by tucking the level 4 under, the level 3, whatever, yada yada, like how we've gotten for all of the other guys so far, right? We've gotten that for Fish, we've gotten it for Pyramided, we've gotten it for Puppets. So we kind of know what to expect with future support for it. It's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So definitely an interesting list that I wanted to highlight. Congratulations once again. I think that should wrap up our decks. Yep,
that's everything we got for you guys this week. So thank you again for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this content, enjoyed the lists. If you have suggestions on what you guys would like us to keep an eye out for, let us know in the comment section down below. If you have any thoughts about these lists, or just in general, if you want to just make any comments, tell us. Let us know. Love to hear it. Again, thank you to our members for supporting us, for being beautiful people. And what were you gonna say, Ben?
No, I was gonna say, by the time this video goes live, we're about 2 weeks out from CardFest.
Yeah.
So one, if you're gonna be there, Jarell and I will be there as well. So please do stop us if you recognize us. Come find us, say hi. We'd love to meet you guys. Maybe we'll have something to sign like we sort of did at Orlando last year. Also, be on the lookout for sort of I guess like if you want to call it like a reflection / like post card fest video that we'll do in the coming weeks. So if there's anything that you guys want us to touch upon or kind of recommend, do let us know in the comment section down below as well.
All right. And to all the people that see this video when it goes public as well too, just thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for hanging out. If you enjoyed this video, again, hit the like button, subscribe to stick around. Go ahead and see our other videos that we got. We got loads of Digimon content on the channel, and we're doing Gundam content now. So we're not just all things Digimon TCG. We're evolving. We're evolving. Yes. I don't know what I was gonna say. Something goofy. Yeah. That's not what I was gonna say, but that works too. But yeah, that'll do it for us, and I'll let Ben say the line.
And hopefully we catch you on that flippy flip. Bye.
Bye.